and welcome to the latest video update from what we have been covering in humanity so far. And this video is just going to put what we've been looking at into a little bit of perspective through the use of a timeline. And we have begun looking at the scientific revolution, which took place from the 1500s to the 1700s. And at the start, we have Nicholas Copernicus and his heliocentric model of the universe. And in between that, we have obviously Galileo and his conflict with the church. And right at the very end, we have Isaac Newton bringing to a close the scientific revolution in 1700s. In between that, we have the Reformation period. And the Reformation period took place from 1517 to 1521. And at the start, the Catholic Church was the only church that people could follow as Christians. But as the years went on, King Henry VIII created his own church, the Church of England. Martin Luther stuck his 95 Theses to a door and caused a whole load of panic as it went viral. And then the Gutenberg press machine enabled Martin Luther's thesis to go viral and to spread across Germany and parts of Europe. So that by the end of the Reformation period, there was still Christianity, but the Roman Catholics, they'd lost their power, and you now had two sections within Christianity, the Catholics and the Protestants. And obviously underneath the Protestants, as part of the group, you have the likes of the Huguenots, the Calvinists and the Lutherans. We're now moving on to the age of absolutism. Check it out. There we go. And absolutism actually began in the 1400s and didn't stop until the 1800s. But we're focusing on the absolutist period of 1589 to 1762. And we will be covering three main people. King Louis XIV of France, bonjour. Peter the Great of Russia, and Frederick the Great of Prussia. Prussia is modern-day Germany, or part of modern-day Germany, sorry. And when we're looking at King Louis XIV, one of his sayings was, one king, one faith, and one law. Peter the Great banned beards because he didn't think it was civilized. And Frederick the Great used the military to gain his power over Prussia. So, if we put all of these together, what we end up with is a timeline that looks kind of like this. So, in the 1400s, you have the Catholic Church, and as you can see, the line is high, therefore this indicates the power that the Catholic Church had. But as we move into the 1500s, you can see the Protestants beginning to rise and eventually cause conflict within the Catholic Church, and the Christian religion splits into two. And as time went on, then their influence and their power over the community was not as strong as it used to be in the past for various reasons. So when a system changes or the authority changes, something always comes along to take its place. And that something was absolutism. As you can see, as the power and authority of the Catholic and the Protestant religions declines, then absolutism rises to take its place in society to ensure that it is able to control the people. So let's give a sort of comparison. If we look here, what we see is Great Britain, woohoo, USA and China. And, you know, a lot of you have studied the British Empire and how we were amazing and owned 3/4 of the world and the sun never set on the British Empire. So, as you can see from the 1800s, then the might and the strength and the power and the authority of the British Empire is quite high. And then as we move into the 1900s, you have World War I, you have World War II, and you have present day. And therefore, because after World War II, Britain lost its empire pretty much, then its power and influence, reduced and declined across the globe. So the next superpower to take Britain's place was the United States of America. And for the past 50 or 60 years, the United States of America has been one of the key superpowers in the world. And what we're beginning to see now is the resurgence of China. And we can see that with its strong economy, it is now beginning to take its place in the world, and people believe it will overtake the United States of America as the most powerful country in the world. So, there, hopefully, you have it. The three periods that we have been looking at. The scientific revolution from 1500s to 1700s. The Reformation period from 1517 to 1521. And the age of absolutism from 1400s to the 1800s. But we're specifically only looking at this bit here, 1589 to 1762, which covers the time period of these three kings. King Louis, Peter the Great, and Frederick the Great. Thanks for watching.